And welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I know it's been a little bit too long since the last episode, but things have been going on. You know how it is. In any event, when last we left, the Kethane miner had finally arrived in orbit around Ike and begun scanning for Kethane. And now it's time to land on one of those deposits, and I'm thinking this one right here at minus 14 by 95. In fact, I'm going to put those coordinates into the landing autopilot. I'm actually not intending to let mechjeb do the landing, but it would be very helpful in at least pointing the way. So we have, what was that? Minus 14 by 95. Okay. Alright, now we need to see about fuel for this lander. And currently it doesn't have any, so we need to transfer what we have left over here into this thing. Okay, wait a minute now. Alright, I'm sure that's not going to be enough. I realize that Ike has a relatively low gravity, but I always believe in having more fuel than you need. Better safe than sorry, as they say. All right. Now, wait a minute. Let's have Smart ASS up as well. Okay, and I think we can... No, I'm going to leave the Kethane detector on. But I'll hide the map. And wait a minute. No, I need that detection sound to make sure that I'm actually over a target. Alright. Probably surface information would be more useful. Alright. So, let's see. I'm going to use land at target to get this thing started, because that's the only way I'm going to know where the landing site is. Undock. Switch back to the correct ship. Alright. Thrusters on. And back away. That should be enough. Yeah, I think we have enough fuel for a landing and a return and so on. Alright. With our... Not 958. 95. How did that get in there? Alright. We'll go with land at target to get this thing on the right track. Warning, too little thrust to land. Are you kidding me? Oh. Stop. Of course. It will have enough thrust if the engines are turned on. That would be useful, wouldn't it? Actually activating the engines. Alright. Now, executing deorbit burn. And let's have a look at this in the map. See where it's going to set us down. Well, if I'm reading that right, we're touching down on the day side. That's good. Okay, doing a little course correction here. I kind of need this. Like I said, you know, it's the only way I'm going to be able to have a shot at actually landing on the detected site. And yes, this is definitely our target area here. Probably a good idea to retract solar panels for the landing. And we can turn the RCS off before mechjeb eats it all. Let's warp time a little bit here. The ship is not under acceleration, thank you very much. Back to normal time. Let the thing get back to the correct orientation and put the landing gear out. And by the way, I have to say that if you happen to hear some noise in the background or wind noise or anything like that, it's rather hot in here tonight and I have a fan running. It really can't be helped. Okay, so over this mountain, let's warp ahead a little bit more. I really hope we're not getting dangerously close to that mountaintop, but it certainly looks like it. 18 kilometers above the ground and closing. Okay, it's automatically switching time acceleration back to 1, so apparently we're good to go. The surface looks remarkably uneven. "15 kilometers above the ground. certainly would like to hear the Kethane detector start bleeping loud right real soon. So far, predicted landing site is acceptably close to the target. Okay. All right. That's the sound I wanted to hear. Confirms that we are in fact over a Kethane deposit, so the landing is going to be worth doing. Look at it from this angle, I might have a shot of seeing a shadow, since the sun seems to be more that way. Altitude down to 5 kilometers, just about. That's true altitude above the surface, that is. Reading sea level on this is kind of meaningless, considering there is no sea. Killing velocity. Alright, maybe it's just me, but it looks like smooth ground. Actually, it looks like a textured paper towel. One kilometer. 900 meters, 800, 700. A little better deceleration, starting to straighten up. Looks like we're on target for a good landing. Ready to cut mechjeb. Still not seeing the shadow, but we're up a little ways yet. Okay. Oh, this is not a very flat place. Cut this. SAS on. Oh. Oh crap. Oh boy. We lost something important here. We lost one of our engines. The ship isn't going anywhere. I'll get that out of my way. Detector off. Well, the Kethane ship is on the ground. And apparently we've lost 2 engines, both on the same side. Okay, this ship isn't going anywhere. And Chattable Kerman seems to be quite calm about it. I guess he hasn't realized quite the depth of his problem just yet, because even if we could get this upright using the landing gear trick, which I kind of doubt, but I'm going to try it. No, this isn't going anywhere. As a matter of fact, now we're going to have fun getting it to stop. Alright, we can close this. And that, and that, and that. This thing isn't going anywhere. Well, I take that back. It looks like it may roll down the hill. No? One of the engines is getting wedged under. Alright, cut the thrust. Well, Chattable Kerman, it looks like you are going to be the subject of the next rescue mission. Sorry about that, old bean. We'll get somebody out to you just as soon as we can. Alright, meanwhile, let's get out on the map view, bring up Haystack, and let's see, what do we have out here? Fuel 1 should be somewhere close, I think. Alright, where is it? Let's see. 68 days out. Well, I hope Chattable brought his lunch, because it's going to be a while getting to him. Set Duna as target. And I guess the only thing we can do is warp ahead to that encounter. I know there's a maneuver plan somewhere for Fuel 2, but the alarm clock should remind us for that. Not that Fuel 1 or Fuel 2 can land on Ike. Those ships aren't designed to land. But they can provide fuel for ships that can. All right, here we go. Let's get a maneuver at periapsis. Some good old-fashioned retrograde planned. Oh, please. Why can't I select that and do something with it? What's going on here? Okay, something weird going on here. I can't seem to grab the retrograde handle. There we go. All right. Whoops. Let's not get too overzealous here. Duna periapsis 356. All right. That worked out pretty good. Now, all I have to do is get aligned with the maneuver node that'll occur in 7 hours and 30 minutes. Alright. Get this bugger turned around. Find that node. I know this looks like the fuel is almost empty, but honestly, there's a lot on there. No, that's not doing it. I don't know why I do this, trying to spot Duna in the sky like that. 'Cause I'm not going to. Okay. Here's our maneuver node coming around. Right, we're almost there. A little burst of time warp to help kill our angular stuff so that I can fine-tune this aiming here. All right. We're locked. Thrusters off. Okay. Now let's time warp around to burn time. I expect it's going to be a long burn. 1,317 meters a second delta V here. And this is a heavy ship. So I'm going to go ahead and start the burn now. Seem to be stable enough. Burn's going to take a while, so I'm going to go ahead and make a cut and come back when it's done. Oh boy. I have one heck of a situation here. The ship's attitude has not changed, but however, it started to drift a little bit from the maneuver node, and so I decided I was going to just stop the engines, bump the thrust just a little bit to see if we can, to use that angular momentum kill. And unfortunately, I bumped it in the wrong direction, and the ship went flying way over here, and that's where its original maneuver was planned. So now I'm going to start the engines back up and hope that we can do something to turn this back into a trip around Duna. Otherwise, we'll have a problem. Basically, we've passed Duna Periapsis by a long way. And at this point, there is no telling if we'll be able to turn this back into a Duna orbit or not. In fact, cut. And let's get rid of this maneuver node since it is obviously no good anymore. See what we can do with this one. Oh, this isn't looking good. Will this help at all? We might be able to pull something out of this. Closest approach so far, 239,000 kilometers. That's not good. Oh boy, it's not getting any better. See what we can do with just plain old retrograde. Four kilometers a second in delta V. That's not going to do. That is just not going to do. How's this looking? All the way around. It's practically a Kerbal return. did that close approach marker go? $31,000. Is it getting any better? Negligibly so. 35. That's actually worse. And of course, I don't just simply have a quick save to go back to. $102,000. Can we do anything to improve that? Otherwise, if we don't do anything, this thing's going to swing back around by Kerbin and have a real good shot of not getting to Duna ever. Well, there's a close approach. All right. We have another encounter. 6 days. It's going to cost us another 1,200 meters a second in Delta V. Fortunately, it's in the direction we're traveling, so we don't have to change anything except to fire. I'm going to burn off this 1,200 meters a second in Delta V, and hopefully I won't bork things up again. God, this mission has been one problem after another, hasn't it? Alright, I'll be back when we get there, assuming I don't mess it up again. Alright, we're almost down to the end of the burn. I actually had to stop the burn once and transfer from fuel into the stages where the burns are taking place. So this ship is not delivering near as much fuel as it was originally intended to. But at this point, I'll be glad if it gets there with any useful amount of fuel. Still don't see that encounter happening. I mean, there's the planned one, but I don't see the real one forming. We're down to 40 meters per second in Delta V left. Stop, cut, cut, cut. Okay. Doing an encounter in 9 days. Periapsis, 35,000 kilometers. I'll take it. Let's continue to burn and see if we can bring that down any. And this time we'll see if I can manage to do this without borking up the capture burn. getting better. Keep going for a little while. Alright, I'm going to cut it off right there. Get rid of the maneuver node. We have an encounter in 4 days. We'll count that good. And now once again, time warping forward to encounter. A very expensive second chance. It took the equivalent of about one full Rockomax 64 to do all of that extra burning. I think. Very close to it at least. Trying not to overshoot the SOI change. Okay, this is going to be expensive. I can see it coming. Add maneuver in 2 days. Retrograde movement. Oh, well, hell, that was very surprising. I thought it was going to be more than that. Periapsis. Okay, let's bring it down some more. Now what? Let's bring it back up. Let's just go with that. 148 meters a second. And I'm going to take however long it's going to take to get lined up, and I'll be back. Alright, that took a few minutes to get that right, but we're set up. So let's carefully warp ahead. Make sure I have the right key for warping down. Okay. Don't want to try to make that mistake again. Okay, this thing is saying 42-second burn. I'll give it a shot at being right. 148 meters a second in delta V. That's not too hideously much. And we burn. Looks like we've got it. bet you it's polar. And of course, any orbit that crosses or comes close to that of Ike is automatically suspect. $530-some kilometer orbit. Periapsis, that looks good to me. Alright. Let's warp down to Periapsis. After I get rid of that. Let's get something planned here. Guess it's in a nice Ike-free orbit. Okay. All right. This is... Oh, I still had time warp going. No wonder I couldn't work anything. Alright, once again, I'll take a few minutes and get lined up and I'll be back. Alright, we appear to be pretty much lined up. SAS on and RCS off. If I can hit the correct keys, that would be helpful. Alright, let's get down to our burn. Minute and 30 seconds it says. We'll see. We're not quite as polar as I thought we were going to be. I am concerned whether or not we're orbiting in the right direction. I have a feeling we're coming in on a retrograde orbit. But I guess we'll find out. Right now, any orbit is a... Yeah... No? No. Well, two of them are extremely polar orbits, so... that's less of a problem. Okay. 2 minutes to burn. Alright, minute and a half. So burn at T-minus 45 seconds. We burn. Occurs seems to me. I should check. There's fuel there. There's fuel there. Okay, it looks like we ought to have enough. Get this thing parked into an orbit. And once it's in orbit, then next episode, we'll break this into its component parts and see about getting some of this stuff refueled. Like get the Mayflower fueled. These landers, get one of these landers fueled up, send it over to Ike to rescue our downed pilot. Of course, there is still the issue of getting a Kethane mining operation going here, and that one ship isn't going to do it. But if I recall correctly, I think there is another one on the way. If I don't know, I don't remember. I'll have to look. But for right now, I'm going to be satisfied just to get this safely into Duna orbit where it will stay. Almost there. Well, at this point, the orbit is guaranteed to not be interfered with by Ike, so that part's good. Okay, it started going back up, so that's it. Periapsis 145, apoapsis 534. Not great, but it ain't going anywhere. Next episode, we'll break this thing into 4 pieces and see about distributing some of this fuel so that these ships that have been waiting for it can finally start to do something. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.